She is also a member of Spirit Club. She is currently a full-time College Credit Plus student attending classes at OUC. After graduation, Zoe plans to attend OUC to pursue a bachelor's degree in nursing. Zoe Branniger. Our next senior cheerleader is Gracie Fraley. Gracie is joined by her parents, Jeff and Shauna Fraley. This is Gracie's third year as a JGHS cheerleader. She has also been involved in Skills USA. She currently attends the Zanesville campus of the Mideast Career and Technology Centers in the cosmetology program. After graduation, Gracie plans to start her career in the cosmetology field after obtaining her cosmetology license. Gracie Fraley. Our next senior cheerleader is Carson Hearing. Carson is joined by her parents, Brian and Shannon Hearing. In addition to being a football and basketball cheerleader, Carson has been on the competition cheer team and is a member of Spirit Club. She is currently a full-time College Credit Plus student attending classes at OUC. After graduation, Carson plans to attend OUC to major in education. Carson Hearing. Our next senior cheerleader is McKaylin Kirkbride. McKaylin is joined by her parents, James Kirkbride and Shannon Christie. In addition to being a varsity cheerleader, McKaylin is involved in Spirit Club, Ambassadors Club, and FCC LA. After graduation, McKaylin plans to attend the Mason Anthony School of Cosmetology. McKaylin Kirkbride. Our next cheerleader is London Miller. London is joined by her parents, Donnie and Wendy Miller. London has been a basketball, football, and competition cheerleader for 4 years. She is also a member of the National Honor Society as involved with Spirit Club and Ambassadors Club. She is currently a full-time College Credit Plus student attending classes at OUC. After graduation, London plans to attend OUC to pursue her bachelor's degree in nursing. London Miller. Our final cheerleader is Kayliana Tolliver. Kayliana is joined by her father and stepmother, Benjamin and Jillian Robinson. In addition to cheer, Kayliana is a member of the National Honor Society and is involved in Spirit Club and Key Club. After graduation, Kayliana plans to attend college to major in linguistics to pursue a career in teaching English in foreign countries. Kayliana Tolliver. And now for our senior basketball players. Our first seniors are Timo Bostay and Caleb Larry. Timo and Caleb are joined by Nathan and Angela Larry. They are the parents of Caleb and whose parents to Timo, who is a foreign exchange student at JGHS this year from Germany. Caleb has been a 3-year varsity letterman for football and basketball during his JGHS career. He is a member of the National Honor Society and is currently a full-time College Credit Plus student at Zane State in the Pathways to Engineering program, where he is involved in Phi Theta Kappa. He has also been involved in 4-H since the 3rd grade. After graduation, Caleb plans to attend a 4-year college to finish his electrical engineering degree and play football at the collegiate level. Timo has enjoyed being a member of both the JGHS football and basketball teams while he has been a student at John Glenn High School. Timo will return home to Germany this summer, where he will complete his 2-year program at FOS to continue his education. Timo Borstay and Caleb Larry. Our next senior basketball player is Nelson Cameron. Nelson is joined by his parents, Scott and Heather Cameron. In addition to basketball, Nelson is a member of the National Honor Society and currently is a college Credit Plus student attending classes at OUC. After graduation, Nelson plans to attend Ohio University to major in business and graphic design. Nelson Cameron. Our next senior basketball player is DeAndre Fowler. DeAndre is joined by his mother, Angela Mickle. In addition to basketball, DeAndre is involved in FCCLA. After graduation, DeAndre plans to attend a four-year university to obtain a degree in nursing. DeAndre Fowler. Our final senior basketball player is Noah Winland. Noah is joined by his parents, Nick and Hannah Winland. In addition to basketball, Noah has been a member of both the varsity football and baseball teams during his high school career. He is a member of the National Honor Society. Noah is currently a full-time college Credit Plus student attending classes at Zane State, where he will graduate this spring with an associate's degree in electrical engineering and electronics technology. After graduation, Noah plans to attend Muskingum University to obtain his bachelor's degree and also hopes to play baseball at the collegiate level. Noah Winland. Please join me in thanking those seniors and their parents with a round of applause as we wish them well in their future endeavors. At this time, the John Glenn Boys basketball and cheerleading boosters would like to recognize Philo's senior cheerleaders and basketball players. Please come to center court and be recognized when your name is called. Allison Schaefer. Emma Wall. Braden Blakeney. Will Pettigrew. And Drew Wright. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck to both teams tonight.
Maybe if I'm doing a wide shot.
Tell me when I can do it.
You can do it now. I'm not looking that way. Corp.
In today's marketplace, you have many choices for insurance. WB Green Insurance, a representative of Westfield Insurance, is committed to providing you with excellent coverage for your home and auto at a fair and competitive price. Westfield has been in the neighborhood for over 150 years, providing peace of mind and quality insurance products through independent insurance professionals. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield's pledge to their customers. Call WB Green Insurance today.
Save money and get peace of mind with secure file backups from ABC Tech. Lost or deleted files happen all the time, and it can be devastating to your business. ABC Tech backs up all your data from all your computers and stores it in the cloud securely. If you ever lose your data for any reason, we can restore all your files easily from backup. Right now, you can get 2 months of our cloud backup services free. There's no need for us to even come on site. We can set you up remotely and protect your files quickly and easily. Contact us today for more details and to get your first 2 months free. Call 740-432-5605 or visit abctechnicalservices.com.
In your time of need, will you be happy with your cut-rate car insurance? Will you have the coverages you need? Valentine Insurance is dedicated to protecting you and your family when you need it. As an independent insurance agency, we have partnered with many reputable insurance companies who even have local claims adjusters to provide you with unbeatable service. Are you going to trust a talking lizard to help you with your claim? Really? Don't let this happen to you. Trust the professionals at Valentine Insurance. Call 994-1776.
At Abel's, we're proud that so many people trust our family with their family's home comfort. I'm Russ Abels. For new heating and cooling, you can trust us to save you money with our high-efficiency systems. We're trusted for electrical work, lighting, outlets, generators, complete home electrical service upgrades. We do it all. And you can trust us in an emergency. Whether it's heating, cooling, or electrical repairs, we promise to do the job right. It's what we do for family, and it's what everyone deserves. Trust Ables.
How can you select from insurance companies offering you lizards or ducks? When it comes to protection for your home and auto, you want a company that provides quality insurance products and personalized, fair, friendly claims service. WB Green Insurance represents Westfield Insurance. Their reputation is based on sharing knowledge and building trust. Westfield has been around the neighborhood over 150 years. WB Green Insurance welcomes the opportunity to quote your home, car, and business insurance. Don't be fooled by lizards and ducks. Call 439-1329.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If you're making the minimum payments, but your balance is just not going down, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it will take years to get out of debt, call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 5 million people. They can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. If you're struggling with credit card debt, call Consolidated Credit now.
Call now, 800-552-6750. That's 800-552-6750. 800-552-6750.
Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Not a loan company licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19, Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 32. Establishment of a plan may adversely affect the individual's credit rating or credit scores. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase financial charges or collections activity, including litigation.
ABC Sports presents high school basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, Doan Ford, WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Valentine Insurance, and Abel's Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Refrigeration.
Welcome, everybody, to WWKC, our high school basketball coverage on ABC Sports tonight. Live streaming on YRP TV as well. Here at the Tank in New Concord, the John Glenn Little Muskies, Eric Scheck's bunch, 11-7 overall, 8-4 in MVL play. Hosting tonight, Jason Trout's Philo Electrics at 6-13, 2-11 in MVL play. Dave Davidson, along with River Pilot alum Mike Snively. How you doing, Mike?
Good. That's 30-some years ago, but I'm going good, Dave. It's been a while, buddy. First game of the year, huh?
Yeah. It's been a busy schedule, usually on the court. It's nice to be above the court here tonight for a change. Two teams that are possibly going in similar directions. The Philo Electrics, tough year for Jason Trout. They've got some good young talent in that middle school program. There's probably still a year or two away from, I think, putting together, a pretty good program together, but I know it's been a hair-pulling year for Coach Trout. He's been on the cusp here. The last few games, maybe they've turned a corner here, perhaps.
Well, they have improved from last year's team, and you look at the roster, and I see 5 freshmen on the roster. And another thing I do see on this roster for Jason Trout, he's got 4 guys averaging double figures. So good for them. I mean, they are kind of making that turn, but they're struggling right now defending people, and They just sometimes don't take the best shots at the most opportune time. So what Coach Trout would like to do is see these teams sit down, play some defense, get some stops, because right now they're giving up a ton of points this year.
They've given up, at least at the times I've seen them, they've given up 91 to Morgan, 96 to Maysville. It's a team that, defensively, as you said, they don't enjoy the defensive end very much. They do like to come to the offensive end. They want to up-tempo it and try to outscore you, as you said. Now, they do have 4 guys in double figures, so yes, they do have ability to spread the ball around.
They do, and I don't know if this fits into, I would think it fits into what John Glenn wants to do, too. They like to get it up and down, press you full court. December 15th, John Glenn, a 27-point winner at Philo. So John Glenn coming off of a win where they played a pretty good floor game at Meadowbrook on Tuesday, and Philo now on a 4-game losing streak. But during that 4-game losing streak, Dave, very close losses to very good teams in Sheridan and New Lex. So playing a little of the Jekyll and Hyde here, Philo is toward the end of the year.
Now for the John Glenn Little Muskies, 11-7 right now. Playing pretty good basketball. I think for the most part they've beaten the teams probably that they should beat. They've probably let a couple of slip away during the season, but overall I think they're still, Eric Scheck and the staff is still tweaking some things with the lineup, trying to get the most out of not only his starters, but the 2 or 3 guys that are coming off the bench.
Well, I tell you, right now they're sitting at that 6 or 7 seed, which would get them a home game. They probably need to win out to get the 2 sectional home games, and then by the time you get to the districts, then it becomes a neutral site. But it's going to be senior night here tonight. It's probably going to be a little more emotional. You walk out on the floor with your parents, and you just realize, hey, my life's starting to kick into gear here. And, so they're going to go out with some emotions tonight. In fact, they're going to start all their seniors tonight that they can start. And but recently, John Glenn's been playing a lot of 4 sophomores. And when those 4 sophomores get on the court, they provide spark. But they'll be led tonight by Caleb Larrick, the senior. He's averaging a little over 10 a game. But then Steele Bates comes down. He's double digits as well. Steele Bates will be the lone non-senior starter tonight. He's averaging 10.5 points a game. So I look for an up-tempo game, as you mentioned earlier, and both teams got to take care of the ball, Dave. I mean, it's just that simple. They just got to take care of it and not be – they got to just be careful.
And this is a night, too, where you would think that probably Larrick, with a distinct size advantage against a smaller Philo team, really – Drew Wright probably in the middle is the one guy, that can probably defend him man up. You would think this would be a good night for Larrick to maybe be a little bit more assertive at the offensive end.
You would think so. Now, over at Meadowbrook last week, and same thing happened over there at Meadowbrook, was Larrick, probably 5 inches taller than anybody on the court, probably played 5 minutes, Dave, because he got foul number 1 real quick, foul number 2 real quick, sat him out the first half, gets in there, gets an offensive foul for foul number 3, and then I know we're not allowed to say over the back anymore, especially to an official, but, he was over the back, and that was foul number 4. He fouled out pretty quick, so he's got to be careful. He sometimes gets that Shaq rule against him where he's just bigger than everybody and, just knocks people over, and sometimes they just get called fouls when he's just doing what he normally does. So we'll see how things get called tonight with the big man in the middle.
All right, our coverage tonight on ABC Sports brought to you by WB Green Insurance, Abel's Incorporated, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, Doan Ford, Valentine Insurance, and West 40 Auto Sales. We'll take a break. We'll come back. A couple of keys to tonight's game with Mike Snively and our video crew, Joel Lasigo and the bunch, as we come back on YRP-TV and on WWKC in just a moment.
Now located at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell, Ohio, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a mutual insurance company established in 1896 for the purpose of providing insurance coverage to rural Ohio. They offer a product to meet your insurance need, whether it's for a farm, rental dwelling, home in town, secondary or seasonal dwelling, churches, or mobile home. They partner with Grinnell Mutual Insurance Company from Iowa to offer liability coverage to package with their Patrons Buckeye Mutual policy. Call today, 740-305-5121, and follow them on Facebook at Patrons Buckeye.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
It was.
Mike Snively, Dave Davidson back to New Concord at John Glenn High School. Muskies trying to pick up win number 12 on this season. Approaching the final week of the year. These two teams here, Mike, both have Maysville and Riverview coming up on their schedules. John Glenn also with Morgan coming up. So 3 games remaining for the Muskies after tonight. 2 more for the Electrics next week before we start heading into tournament play.
Yeah, I think the Morgan game is a makeup from that one big snow we had on that Friday that night. But, tournament brackets will be out Sunday. It's driven by Max Preps this year, so whoever's highest seeded on Max Preps, that's kind of how they line them up. And you get to pick and choose where you want to go play. And like I said, John Glenn, both these teams Division II in the East District. John Glenn looking at a home game, the first game, but if they do have a good finish to finish this thing out, they could get 2 home games. So Coach Scheck, I think these guys are starting to gel just a little bit. To me, they look a lot more confident when they're shooting the basketball. And when they're defending, their rotations on defense, Dave, have been fantastic where they press the entire game, and they press even after misses. And when you're double teaming and running and jumping, you got to get back and play man-to-man defense. Well, a lot of times you're double teaming, you got to find out where your guy is, and they've been really doing a good job rotating.
We will see how that works out. The Philo Electrics, as we said, 6 wins, 13 losses with head coach Jason Trout. Trout's, I think, in his third year, in the program, I want to say this year. Of course, was on that 99 state semifinalist team.
Finalist. They lost in that championship.
That's right.
Yeah, they lost.
That's right. Final runners-up is what I meant to say, not state semifinalists, but runners-up on that team. And Coach Todd Van Reeth coached that bunch as well. So he knows what it takes to get there. He's trying to get his program built up to get there. But like I said, they have some good young talent. This freshman class is pretty good, and they have a really good 8th grade and 7th grade squad that only has just a loss or two between the two of them.
Correct. And he's part of that, too. He likes to coach them in AAU and everything. He's got a lot of kids coming through the program that's going to obviously benefit the program.
So he's on the right track there. And we'll see what happens in this one here tonight. Both teams tuning up for postseason play. Philo Electrics and the John Glenn Little Muskies here from New Concord. We'll have all the action, starting lineups, and the play-by-play coming up as we return to New Concord after this on WWKC and on YRP TV.
Do you really think that an insurance company who promises quotes in a few minutes has your best interest in mind? Do they really know you and what coverages you need? Hi, this is John Valentine with Valentine Insurance. We take time to learn about you and your insurance needs so you can feel comfortable that you're receiving the right coverages at the best possible prices. Find us on Facebook, stop by our office, or give us a call at 994-1776. Valentine Insurance, a partner you can depend on.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
In today's marketplace, you have many choices for insurance. WB Green Insurance, a representative of Westfield Insurance, is committed to providing you with excellent coverage for your home and auto at a fair and competitive price. Westfield has been in the neighborhood for over 150 years, providing peace of mind and quality insurance products through independent insurance professionals. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield's pledge to their customers. Call WB Green Insurance today.
Save money and get peace of mind with secure file backups from ABC Tech. Lost or deleted files happen all the time, and it can be devastating to your business. ABC Tech backs up all your data from all your computers and stores it in the cloud securely. If you ever lose your data for any reason, we can restore all your files easily from backup. Right now, you can get 2 months of our cloud backup services free. There's no need for us to even come on site. We can set you up remotely and protect your files quickly and easily. Contact us today for more details and to get your first 2 months free. Call 740-432-5605 or visit abctechnicalservices.com.
East Central Ohio's favorite, Kickin' Country, KC 105. WWKC, Caldwell, Cambridge. Kickin' Country, KC 105.
Back on WWKC and on YRP TV, Joel Lasigo, Andrew Dunlap on our live stream webcast. Mike Snively, Dave Davidson calling the shots here for this one here tonight in game number 19 for the Little Muskies, number 20 for Philo. We'll look at the Philo lineup here first in their blues with the gold trim. Talon Preston, 6'1 junior. Malachi Strickland, 6'1 junior. Drew Wright, a 6'2 senior, number 33. Cooper Radcliffe, number 10, 5'11 junior. And freshman Rusty Trout, the son of head coach Jason Trout, 5'9 freshman, number 34. So again, Talon Preston, number 2. Malachi Strickland, number 24. 33, Drew Wright. Cooper Radcliffe, number 10. Rusty Trout, number 34, for those of you watching on our live stream broadcast. And Mike, let's go through the Muskie lineup.
They'll be starting Caleb Lyric, who's averaging 10.5 a game at 6'6". He's a senior. Another senior tonight, DeAndre Fowler, getting a start on senior night, 5'11". He'll be wearing number 3 tonight. Number 5, Noah Winland. He's a 6'1" senior. Nelson Cameron will be wearing number 13. He's a 5'7" senior. And rounding out the starting lineup will be sophomore, 6-footer, number 33, Steele Bates.
That's your lineup for the Muskies, and the whites with the maroon numbers and trim. Referee tossing up, Jamie McRae with Bob Glasgow and Tim Gibson. Lyric wins the tip for John Glenn. They'll start possession here tonight, going right to left for those of you on our radio dial. Steele Bates over to the corner. Here's a quick 3 up in the air for Fowler. That one's off the mark, but it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Electrics.
And Fowler doesn't get a whole lot of PT as a senior. I'm glad he got that shot off. It looked good when he let it go, just a little too long.
You know, that was set play. There's a baseline shot for Winland. That won't go, and a rebound for Rusty Trout of Philo. Here comes Radcliffe ahead. Malachi Strickland's shot is rejected inside by Lyric, but gets it right back into his hands outside to Trout on the left sideline. Trout pulls up from 18. Off the back rim, no. Nice tap out there by Drew Wright to keep the possession alive for Philo, and we got a travel as Radcliffe tried to pump fake, but that pivot foot slid on him just a little bit right there, and Jamie McRae says a turnover to John Glenn.
Philo's going to get back and play some half-court man-to-man.
No score in this game, 40 seconds gone in the first quarter. Muskies Steele Bates across the timeline. So they're going to face a man-to-man defense here by Philo. Bates dribbles around the perimeter to the left side, keeps the dribble, penetrates the paint, dumps it off for Fowler, and that's a baseline bunny shot. Good for Fowler, the first bucket of the game.
And Fowler already doubles his season average, 2 points.
There goes Preston all the way to the hoop, and that is rejected by Lyric already with his second block shot in 65 seconds, and it's out of bounds to the Electrics under the basket. Radcliffe will throw it in front of the Philo cheerleading squad. A little congested over there right now, and it's outside. It goes to Malachi Strickland, but a steal the other way, and Steele Bates with the layup off the right side, beating Radcliffe 4-0 Muskies.
Bates anticipating that pass, gets it down the court. Easy layup for 2.
Trout pulls up 3 from the right side. Boy, he got drilled by Caleb Lyric. Count the basket and a possible 4-point play. As the Electrics have a chance here to tie it as freshman Rusty Trout drains one in the face of 6'6" Caleb Lyric.
Hey, Nathan played here several years as well, too. Hey, Caleb just couldn't get that motor stopped, and that's a great shot there by Trout. Just right in front of 6'6", gets up to shoot the free throws. He's a 74% free throw shooter.
Swishes that one. Trout ties the game all by himself in one possession. 4-4 game with a minute and a half gone in the first period. Bates across the timeline right side. Directing traffic now, dribbles around the left side of the top of the key, finds Fowler. Fowler weaves again the opposite direction, now back outside to Steele Bates between the circles, out high. Looking to the right side, dumps it off up high for Noah Winland. He's got Strickland on him, down to the right post. And Lyric tried to go up with it, and he was hog-tied by a couple of Electrics, and that'll be a 2-shot foul coming for Caleb Lyric. And the foul is going to go against Talon Preston.
That was Rusty Trout's 41st three-pointer on the season. That's pretty good for a freshman. Lyric's heading the line. He's shooting 58%.
And doinks it off the back rim on the first attempt. Still tied at 4. 6:10 to play opening quarter. Each team with a team foul. And Lyric, 6'6" senior, will drain free throw number 2. Hits 1 out of 2 for his first point. 5-4 game, John Glenn. Full court pressure again, as Mike said, they'll do all game long. All the way to the basket, Malachi Strickland missed it. Drew Wright followed, that won't go, and a rebound for Steele Bates. Bates quickly up the left sideline. Winland nearly had it stripped away, gets it back. Penetrates the lane, kick out, Fowler right corner, drives baseline, up with it. And may have had it partially deflected by Drew Wright. Radcliffe comes up with it. Here's Strickland quickly ahead to Preston, tipped away by Steele Bates. And an end-to-end track meet so far as Philo keeps the ball under the basket, down 5-4.
And I got a feeling that's what we're going to see all night long.
It will
Lionel
be
Richie game all night long.
all night long.
A lot of stoppages of play, too.
Preston out to Rusty Trout, working on Cameron. And there's a third block shot by Larrick on Preston's baseline drive, and it comes into the hands of Winland. Muskies pushing ahead, up by 5-4 score. Here is Cameron. That one barely hit the rim. May have gotten the ball tipped, or maybe he got his arm tipped a little bit. Thought he was fouled. Radcliffe comes the other way for Philo. Outside, Rusty Trout, deep water three. Hello, there's number 42 on the season for Rusty Trout with his second three of the game.
Jason Trout 7, John Glenn 5.
Whew. Yes, sir. Trout is heated up quickly here for the Philo offense, up by 2 now. Steele Bates around the Larrick screen. High drive. Baseline right, won't go. Rebound lost out of bounds off of Larrick's fingertips, and the Electrics will get it. Just under 5 minutes to go first quarter, 7-5. Philo on top here in New Concord. Couple of early substitutions here for Coach Eric Scheck.
And John Glenn subbed in 3 sophomores that see significant playing time for this young Muskie squad.
Braden Davis, number 24, Will Nikolazakis, 15. There's a drive for Rusty Trout, and he's got all 9 points.
Trout's on pace for 70 in this game.
9-5 advantage, a 2-possession game now for Philo. The other coming in there was C.J. Dolan, number 2. That's a 3 in the air for Winland, won't go. Preston rebounds for Philo. Here they come quickly the other way, 3-on-3. Radcliffe all the way, high off the glass, too hard. Rebound to Drew Wright. Offensive rebound shot won't go for him. He's had a tough time shooting it. Preston with the third attempt, and he's got the put back up and good, and it's 11-5 as the Electrics now have pounded off 7 straight points.
Wow, and Rusty Trout comes in. He's got 9 of those 11. Philo's just beating John Glenn down the court, and they look like they want the game a little bit more right now than John Glenn.
Well, and as you said, really the couple of games here, I think, with New Lexington and Sheridan, I think you said, I mean, this team, obviously, you can tell, at least by the last couple of scores we've seen from that bunch, that there is, if nothing else, more effort apparently being shown for 32 minutes.
And John Glenn has not even really come close to making anything from the outside. But give credit to Philo. They got their hands in there. They're making some plays, and they're out-rebounding John Glenn by, they're out-rebounding them 8-3. So that's a pretty big disparity right there.
And at least half of those on the offensive side.
Yes.
11-5 game. John Glenn down by 6 with the ball. Nikolazakis will work against this 1-2-2 trap pressure, it looks like, from Coach Jason Trout. Braden Davis has it across the timeline, hands it on the right sideline to Steele Bates, working up the line on Rusty Trout. Bounces at the corner. Noah Winland, baseline right drive, and he gets hip checked by Drew Wright for his first personal foul, second against the Electrics.
Larry going to check back in here for Winland.
And it'll be C.J. Dolan inbounding from under the basket. Gets it into Steele Bates. Bates turnaround jump hook. Not there. And Drew Wright secures the rebound on the defensive end this time. Philo pushing ahead again. That pass a little too hot from Radcliffe to Preston. Nearly banked it in with the deflection anyway. But Will Nikolazakis comes up with it for John Glenn. 11-5 game. Nikolazakis has it stripped by Preston with a steal. And then he is fouled from behind by Nikolazakis, trying to prevent the 2-on-1 fast break the other way.
Absolutely, and I'm anxious to see how John Glenn handles this early adversity, because Philo's come out with a hot hand and playing with a lot of confidence. So we will see how this thing plays out. I mean, we're only halfway through the first quarter.
Radcliffe inbounding from the far sideline to Drew Wright. Wright for Talon Preston. Radcliffe now working on Nikolazakis. That tight man-to-man defense. Wright looks at a three-point shot. Top of the key. Bang! Drew Wright shoots with confidence from outside. Boy, and if he's hitting that shot, John Glenn's in trouble.
That may be Drew Wright's first 3 on the year.
Third 3 in the game for the Electrics. 14-5, a 9-point advantage, and there's another turnover. Larrick throws it away. Here comes Preston the other way, 3-on-1. Radcliffe to the bucket. Score it! And a timeout for John Glenn as Radcliffe gets his first field goal of the night, and he gets in on the offensive action, and it is all Philo right now.
Yeah, 16-7, and I mean, complete momentum here by the blue and gold. Coach Trout's got this team rolling right now, and Coach Scheck's a little mind-boggled right now. This is the second timeout he's had to use, and they're getting beat down the court. And that's the one thing that John Glenn hasn't had all year, where somebody just beats him down the court. You got 5 guys running hard for Philo, and they just can't. John Glenn can't keep up right now.
John Glenn opened up a 4-0 lead. Philo tied it with the 4-point play by Rusty Trout on the foul. A free throw for John Glenn has been the last points they have scored. That was over 3 minutes ago. And the Electrics now have rolled off 12 unanswered. 16-5 as we resume now with 3:10 to go first quarter. Muskies down 11 with the ball.
And John Glenn hasn't really got a good look yet, Dave.
Not really. Here is Lyric on the right block. Sends it outside. Cooper Briggs into the game, another sophomore for the first time now. And here's a 3 for Braden Davis. That one rattles in and out, and the rebound goes over the head of Muskies Briggs and into Radcliffe's hands, and then Radcliffe is fouled by Cooper Briggs, his first foul, team's third against John Glenn.
So that's 3 fouls here for John Glenn. Remember, we're playing 5 fouls in a quarter, and we're shooting 2.
Backcourt inbound to Cooper Radcliffe, 5'11" junior, one of the top scorers on this Philo squad this year. Wright gives it outside to Rusty Trout. Trout working on Briggs, penetrates, kicks it out for a corner. Preston, left corner drive to the baseline, off the glass. Too easy for Philo right now as Tylen Preston knocks in point number 4, 18-5 Philo.
Philo's made their last 4 shots.
Into the post again, Larrick gets around his man Drew Wright this time, easy. Little jump hook for Caleb Larrick, his first field goal of the game, 3 points, 18-7. Trout drives off to Drew Wright. Wright shooting over Larrick, got his own rebound back. Larrick trying to avoid the foul, did well to stay vertical, but the ball comes right back into Wright's hands, and he scores a 2-point field goal for his 5th point, 20-7.
Drew Wright's been fantastic this first 6 minutes.
Under 2 minutes, Larrick again around Wright, scores with the left hand. Couple of bunny shots here for Larrick to get, hopefully, John Glenn juiced.
We don't need the shot clock tonight.
Man, 20-9 game now. Philo up by 11 with the ball. Rusty Trout near turnover for steal for Nikolazakis. Radcliffe takes it away. Right a 3. That one way off the mark. And Larrick rips it away from Radcliffe. Heaves it down the floor. Here's Braden Davis all the way to the bucket. And he couldn't get it to go, but gets 2 shots. So
maybe a
John Glenn maybe turning the table a little bit. Finally beat Philo down the floor for a change.
Beat him down the court, and they may have found something with Larrick underneath. Larrick, once he gets that deep and he's that big with that good a feet, he's going to score.
So Braden Davis off the bench. John Glenn, sophomore, at the line. His first attempt is a little too strong, kind of a flat shot, almost a flick at the rim.
Davis shoots 76% from the line.
That did not look like a 76% foul shooter, probably a little bit charged up right now. We'll see if he settles down and hits number 2. That one looked a little better. And it's a 20-10 game as Braden Davis now hits 1 out of 2 for the Muskies. He'll go to the bench in favor of Noah Winland.
So far, Philo has handled his John Glenn pressure pretty easy.
Yes, they have. Trout will inbound it to Radcliffe. He's got steel baits on him, out to Tylen Preston. Preston brings it across the timeline with 1:20 to go in this first quarter. 20-10 Philo up by 10-point game, and that's a block shot for C.J. Dolan. Got a piece of that. That's the 4th block for John Glenn. It's one of the few bright spots in this quarter for them. Here's Bates, left side drive, penetrates, baseline, swings it out. Dolan flicks it. That's Cooper Briggs, rather. Briggs with the floater inside. And now Jason Trout wants to talk things over for 30 seconds with a timeout. With just under a minute to play in this opening quarter, now a 20-12 game for the Electrics, up by 8.
You know, I had a game earlier this year with John Glenn and Riverview, and Riverview came out smoking, guns a-blazing, and they were up 20-10 in that game. So it's not that John Glenn's not been here before, because they were in that same situation with Riverview about 3 weeks ago. But boy, I got to give Philo credit. They look really, really good. This is my first time seeing Philo this year. I like the way they play. Their spacing's really good on offense, and they've handled John Glenn's pressure, which has given many, even good teams, trouble this year.
59.5 seconds remaining in the period, 20-12. Thanks again to our YRP TV and WWKC sponsors tonight. WB Green Insurance, Ables Incorporated, Patrons Buckeye Mutual, Doan Ford, Valentine Insurance, and West 40 Auto Sales. We resume now. Electrics after the made bucket. And we'll get it inside to Cooper Radcliffe in the backcourt. Back to Trout. Trout, the freshman, will handle it. Working on Steele Bates and Briggs. Heaves it toward the corner, and there's a wide open three for the Electrics. Way short on that one is the first shot attempt for Braden Bleakney, his first appearance in the game. And it's last touch by the Muskies, and the Electrics will get the ball under the basket out of bounds after the deflection. Forced a pass there. Preston got away with one there. Pinballs out to Bleakney. His baseline shot rattles in. Everything going right for Philo here in this quarter as Bleakney comes in and scores the first bench points for the blue and gold.
22nd shot attempt already for Philo. That's a lot.
Inside, nice pass from Winland to Larrick. Larrick double team, working on right. Again, the left-hand jump hook this time won't go. A good percentage shot, though. You got to keep going to that, you'd think. Philo with a rebound. And Trout having trouble with the handle for a moment. Flips the floater right over 6'6" Larrick, and Trout right now, he is a man possessed as he hits another shot. That's his 11th point in the quarter, 24-12. Final seconds. Bates tries a three left side. Bang! Hits that at the buzzer. And Steele Bates puts an exclamation point off at the end of the period. 39 points scored in this quarter between the two teams. 24-15. Philo by 9 after 1. We'll step aside for 30 seconds, and we'll return on WWKC and on YRP TV as our AVC Sports High School basketball coverage continues.
At Abel's, we're proud that so many people trust our family with their family's home comfort. I'm Russ Abels. For new heating and cooling, you can trust us to save you money with our high-efficiency systems. We're trusted for electrical work, lighting, outlets, generators, complete home electrical service upgrades. We do it all. And you can trust us in an emergency. Whether it's heating, cooling, or electrical repairs, we promise to do the job right. It's what we do for family, and it's what everyone deserves. Trust Abels.
Joel Asigo and Andrew Dunlap on our YRP TV live stream. Hope you're enjoying that if you're watching on that, or if you're on 104.9 FM. Welcome aboard. Dave Davidson, Mike Snively. Energetic and entertaining first quarter.
Wow, Philo got up 23 shots in that first 8 minutes, 10 of 23, and they out-rebounded John Glenn 13-5. So, and Philo handling the pressure just fine. So, Trout, Rusty Trout, holy smokes, handles the ball really well, passes it well, and obviously shoots it well. Just a freshman.
Well, he is having himself quite a night so far. He's going to start the second quarter on the bench, going to get a breather. Malachi Strickland back in right there, number 24, handling it off to Radcliffe, number 10. Talon Preston in the corner for a three, and that one's too hard off the mark. Noah Winland rebounds for John Glenn. The other two in the game is Braden Bleakney and Drew Wright, number 33 for the Electrics. Muskies come out here with Cooper Briggs. That's a deep water NBA range three. That was too hard. Bleakney rebounds for Philo and runs it ahead quickly. John Glenn back on defense this time. Preston has to force up a shot. Right with the rebound, but got hacked on the rebound putback. And he'll get 2 free throws in as, again, the Muskies have given up offensive rebounds.
Literally 5 guys, well, 4 guys getting to the paint, running to the paint as fast as they can, still beating them, still beating the Muskies down the court. Second foul right there on...
Yep, second on Larrick.
Larrick, yeah.
Braden Davis will return as Larrick will get a breather. He'll check out with the 2 personal fouls and 5 points. And Drew Wright at the line now to try and hit his second free throw toss, and that one is good. 26-15 Philo with a half minute gone in this second quarter. 26-15, Muskies down double digits.
Philo back to their man-to-man.
Bates ahead to Braden Davis, penetrates the lane. Nice floater from Braden Davis, and he gets his first field goal. 3 points in the game for Davis, 26-17.
Davis has been really good going to the basket off of that roll the last few games.
And Radcliffe took an extra step as he picked up the dribble. Good double team there by both Cameron and Briggs to force that rare turnover for Philo in the backcourt, as they have handled really this pressure all game long so far up until that point.
You said it correctly, force that turnover. That's probably the first turnover that John Glenn has forced.
They'll inbound to Steele Bates, Winland to Bates. C.J. Dolan, Nelson Cameron, number 13. And Braden Davis, 24 in there. Bates left open for a 3 right side. That one kicks in and out. Dolan fights for the offensive rebound. Great effort by Dolan to take it away from 2 Electrics and find Steele Bates back door for the layup. There's a deflection and a steal. He's fouled going to the bucket, and Dolan will get 2 free throws after putting in a nice steal and assist to Steele Bates a moment ago.
John Glenn known to get a lot of tips. And you know when you tip the basketball, a lot of things can happen, and it's usually better for the defense.
Team foul number 1 on Philo in this second quarter. That's on Talon Preston. Preston now will check out for Coach Jason Trout with the 2 personal fouls. Preston with 2 fouls, Larrick with 2 fouls for John Glenn.
Dolan 54% at the line this year.
And Dolan hits a pair here as he swishes both. His first 2 points of the game, and now John Glenn within striking distance now at 5. Another steal. And it comes up to Nelson Cameron, finding Dolan going to the hole, and he is fouled with a 2-shot foul coming. And that will be Malachi Strickland with the personal foul, his first. And back to the line goes John Glenn now as this has been a Jekyll and Hyde second quarter here, total opposite of what we saw in quarter 1.
They forced 3 straight turnovers.
Free throw in and out for C.J. Dolan. Now 2 out of 3 at the line. He'll try to cash in on this one here to make it a 4-point game with 6:32 remaining in the first half here from New Concord. And that's good. All 3 of his points from C.J. Dolan at the foul line. 26-22 Philo as John Glenn has fought back. Rusty Trout's back in the game quickly now after a minute and a half rest to start this period. They needed the ball handler in here. And that's going to be a travel called against Rusty Trout as he was double teamed.
And Coach Trout thought he was pushed, and one could argue that.
There was some aggressive double team right there. Trout lost his balance for a moment, went down to the floor with it, and the officials thought not enough contact as Trout got himself into trouble along that sideline. Another turnover for the Electrics. Here comes Steele Bates. Hesitates, drives right side. That's good. And Steele Bates is on fire now with his 6th point in this quarter, 9 for the game. 26-24 game, held ball. Bleakney gets tied up by C.J. Dolan, and the possession arrow will go to the Philo Electrics with 6:02 to play in the first half. 2-point game now for Philo as they're hanging on.
Coach Trout not happy with the officials right now, letting them know how many calls they've missed in a row. Have you ever had that?
I don't think so. I don't recall. Here is Cooper Radcliffe giving it out to...
They're going to call that a block.
And that might have been a break for Philo right there. It might have been a bit of a mercy call there as Malachi Strickland runs over. Was that Nelson Cameron that he knocked out?
It was Nelson Cameron. The basket went in as they threw it up. I guess they're going to say it was before the shot, though.
Okay. Second personal foul, the second team foul on the Muskies, rather. Nelson Cameron's first. And Philo trying to inbound it, knocked away, deflected away. Bates comes up with a steal for John Glenn, and that's going to be Cooper Radcliffe with a bit too much aggression and too much contact on Bates in the backcourt as Radcliffe now picks up the foul. So now things have gotten really raggedy here in this last minute and 30 seconds.
And I got a feeling we're going to be in the shooting 2 free throws pretty soon, probably halfway before this second quarter is even over.
Will Nicolazakis, number 15, returns for John Glenn. Noah Wendland, number 5, 33 Steele Bates, Braden Davis, 24, and C.J. Dolan, number 2, in the game now for John Glenn. And there's an illegal screen from Braden Davis as he really put a solid 2-minute boarding penalty into Braden Bleakney on that screen. That'll be
Davis
Davis's
just
foul.
widened his feet just a little too far. He had been doing a good job setting that high ball screen, but to me it looked like it could have possibly tripped him, not purposely, but widened his feet just a little too much.
Team foul number 3 on John Glenn now, each team with 3. Philo handling the backcourt pressure. That's Camden Stoner, number 30, into the game for the first time. Ball knocked out of bounds by John Glenn. Philo will keep it in the backcourt with 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half and hanging on right now to a 2-point advantage. They led by as many as 11. Radcliffe looking to throw in, gets it into Stoner, hands it off to Rusty Trout. Trout dribbles around some pressure and then gets body checked from behind by Will Nicolazakis as Trout. Oh no, they're gonna get C.J. Dolan with it first, with the hack before Nicolazakis got him. So that's C.J. Dolan's first personal foul, number 4 on John Glenn.
how do you teach your kids to play great defense but don't foul? It's pretty hard, pretty hard concept, to be honest.
And there's a throwaway. Camden Stoner a turnover. 2-on-1 John Glenn. Steele Bates finds C.J. Dolan, but he is fouled by Bleakney on his layup attempt. And a chance to tie the game now for John Glenn's C.J. Dolan, who is 3 of 4 from the foul line so far in this first half.
Yeah, free throw attempts 5 and 6 on the night for C.J.
And the right-handed sophomore, too strong with the first attempt, no good. 5:18 to play second quarter. Philo 26, John Glenn 24. And Drew Wright, their big man starter for Coach Jason Trout, returns, and he will replace young sophomore Camden Stoner.
Dolan only had 13 free throw attempts coming into tonight. He's got 6 now.
He's nearly doubled his attempts so far. He hits 1 out of 2 here, and he has 4 points. Drew Wright flicks it ahead quickly. Right corner 3 for Philo's Bleakney, and that's good. The net gets hung up into the basket for the time being. That's a 3-point shot for the Electrics to go back up 4. Here's Winland to try to answer from the right side with a 3. And Braden Davis is going to be called for a hold from behind, and that will send Drew Wright to the foul line for bonus free throws. And we still have almost 5 minutes to go in this second quarter right now, partner, and both teams are going to be shooting bonuses.
Bonuses, yes. It's just the pace we're playing, Dave. And we still have a net up down here with the free throw. I didn't notice that when that happened on a three-pointer.
Well, the officials have had a lot to look at with 10 players on the court right now. They haven't had a chance to look at the net. Drew Wright, first of 2 free throws. 6'2" senior hammers one in. 3 of 3 at the foul line now, and that is his 8th point of the game. I'll make that 9 points. And missing on number 2, but there is Malachi Strickland to rebound, gets it back again. John Glenn is just flat-footed on the boards, and Strickland gets 2 more chances, and he puts in his first points of the night. 32-25, Philo goes right back up by 7. Steele Bates, crossover dribble, finding Dolan, left side 3, splash.
Is that John Glenn's first 3? No,
that is their second 3, yep. Steele Bates hit one right at the end of the first quarter. And it's 32-28, Philo by 4 as they get it across the timeline against the pressure. Radcliffe to Trout, left side. Trout penetrates, floater with the underhander, and beats Lyric again. Lyric playing with the 2 personal fouls, didn't want to challenge it. And Rusty Trout has another field goal. He now has 13 in the game to lead all scorers. Halfway through the second quarter, Bates, nice little give and go play, but Lyric missed the shot going in. May have had it partially blocked by Drew Wright, and then we've got another foul.
They're going to get Lyric for his 3rd?
They're going to get Winland. So Winland with that foul for John Glenn. That is his first personal. And Malachi Strickland will go to the foul line for 2 more shots coming now for the Electrics, trying to extend their 6-point lead with 4 minutes, 3 seconds remaining, 34-28 Electrics.
Strickland has 4 rebounds, 3 of them offensive just in this quarter.
I mean, Philo's they're just doing everything right now.
Getting to every loose ball as well.
First free throw good for Strickland, his 3rd point of the game, 35-28. Winland to the bench with Coach Eric Scheck and the gang, and returning is Cooper Briggs. And Strickland, nice touch on the free throw to drop in his second one. That's 4 points in the game. Malachi Strickland, 6'1" junior, makes it an 8-point game for Philo. Nikolazakis, underhand left side perimeter 3. Dolan passes it up, gives it to Cooper Briggs. Briggs throws it over the top for Steele Bates. Bates, left baseline drive, finds Drew right there with him, and then gave it right to Preston with the pass. Here's a play the other way, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Talon Preston into the torso of Cooper Briggs with the offensive foul.
Cooper Briggs hustled 92 feet just to get right in front of him at the last minute. There is no arc for the charge in high school. And he was probably inside the block, but good hustle there by Cooper Briggs.
Jason Trout desperately trying to get the attention of official Tim Gibson, but not having it. Lyric outside here is a 3 for Nikolazakis. That's a splash. 3rd 3 of the game for the Muskies. First for Nikolazakis and his first points. 36-31 Philo, 3:20 to go in the half. Pass over the top for Drew Wright, almost taken away, but Carter Crabtree, number 44, there's a turnover. Here comes C.J. Dolan and the Muskies the other way. Steele Bates, left penetration into the paint. Took a little contact. Nice little right-hand jump hook for Steele Bates with nice control. 11 in the game for Bates to cut the deficit down to a one-possession game, 36-33, just under 3 minutes.
This is as close as John Glenn's been.
And Wright turns. Yep, he lowered the shoulder, and again, Cooper Briggs draws the charge inside. Drew Wright trying to just pivot, but you could really kind of see it from up here. He really did dip himself into the defender and had no mercy on him, as Wright will pick up the foul, and he'll go to the bench now with his second personal foul.
And Briggs, with the second charge taken, basically the same spot on the floor in the last 3 trips.
Yeah. No free throws, of course. Team control foul, even though both teams are in the bonus. 36-33 game for Philo. They have led most of the way here after trailing 5-4, but it has been all Philo since. Muskies have been fighting from behind. Here's Nikolazakis finding Bates for a 3 in the right corner. Briggs with a rebound out to C.J. Dolan with a splash for 3. And that's the bucket's going to count, but it's going to be a foul on John Glenn. And I think Larrick has just picked up foul number 3 as he threw down a Philo player, Camden Stoner, I think. The two of them got mixed up.
That's exactly what the call was.
So I think you should have bonus free throws here coming for Stoner. I think that's what the officials here, Jamie McRae and Tim Gibson, are talking over right now at midcourt. The 3-point shot does stand from Dolan.
And now we're going to go to the other end and shoot 2 free throws.
And that was Dolan with the splash, is that correct?
Yes, that was C.J. Dolan.
His second.
After the offensive rebound from Cooper Briggs. So the officials are going to sort this thing out, and we think Stoner is heading to the free throw line. Is that something right? No, they're not going to give him the free throws. Does that have something to do with it being an offensive foul?
That is interesting. It's a steal for John Glenn, and it is knocked away, and it is last touched by the Muskies. A turnover now, and they'll give it right back to Philo. Tied at 36, 2:25 to go, first half.
Philo has 9 turnovers in the second quarter. 9.
And Bleakney's pass is deflected by Steele Bates. Bates is fouled by Radcliffe trying to go to the baseline on the drive. Bates will go to the foul line now for 2 free throws. It is a foul fest here in this second quarter, and we still have 2:21 remaining.
Make that 10 turnovers in less than 6 minutes for Philo here in this second quarter.
Cooper Radcliffe, his foul is his second, and Bates splashes in his first free throw of the evening.
Bates 72% on the line for the year.
12th point of the game, looking for 13 right now. And swish again. Steele Bates, 13 points to lead John Glenn. Rusty Trout with 13 for the Electrics. And we have a 2-point game for John Glenn now. Cooper Radcliffe trying to get the ball up the floor. Timeout called by Jason Trout. Trout a little upset with
his son,
freshman son, who did not come to the ball and help out. He had to call a 30-second timeout to avoid the 10-second violation.
And it looks like Rusty Trout has a little bit of gimpiness in his left ankle.
So a 38-36 game. Boy, talk about a roller coaster game here so far in the first 14 minutes.
Jeez, well, as well as Philo played in that first quarter, they found a way to turn it over 10 times in less than 6 minutes in the third quarter. Got John Glenn back in this game. It's up and down. Well, yeah, John not only back in the game, they're leading the game now. So, I mean, we knew it was going to be up and down. We knew it was going to be I didn't know it was going to be this physical, Dave. It's pretty physical out there right now. And this is it's a tough job for the referees tonight.
It is.
Very tough job.
It is. It's one of those kind of games. John Glenn, really, since going to this trap as opposed to a full court man-to-man, it has really changed the game for them.
It really has.
Rusty Trout ahead again. That pass, another turnover, finding Radcliffe. It's picked away by John Glenn. Missing it inside was Dolan, and Philo comes up with it. Stoner with a rebound for the Electrics, and then Rusty Trout draws contact from Will Nikolazakis, a little too aggressive, and Nikolazakis will pick up foul number 2. And guess what? Back to the charity stripe we go for Philo with a chance to tie the game with 1:55 to go, second quarter, down by 2, 38-36.
Got an update from Southtown. Maysville leading Tri-Valley before half by, it looked like 13. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. Our buddy Dave Hilliard down there.
Yep. Trout bounces in the first free throw, good. 14 in the game for Rusty Trout. Saw that first meeting between those two. Tri-Valley winning at home in the first meeting. And Trout ties the game now at 38. 15 points in the game to lead all scorers for Rusty Trout, number 34 for Philo. Steele Bates across the timeline ahead for Dolan. Now Winland on the right corner, dribbles out toward the high side. Out for Steele Bates. Bleakney comes out high to greet him, man-to-man. Bates working on him with the crossover dribble to the right elbow, dumps it off. Winland, or Dolan rather, had it knocked away. Here comes Philo with a whole host of players. 4-on-2 the other way. Radcliffe, high bank shot won't go. Bleakney, another offensive rebound, and Braden Bleakney, number 20, gets his fourth point of the game with the rebound put back and gives Philo back a 2-point game. Nelson Cameron takes the lead right back with a 3 splash on the right side, 41-40.
Back to the press here for the Muskies.
5 threes in the game now for John Glenn. Radcliffe to the baseline, high off the glass, too hard. Rebound stripped away. Stoner had the rebound, but stripped away by Bates and could not keep it in bounds, as the Electrics will keep it with 58.5 seconds left in this second quarter, and 41-40 game with John Glenn up by 1.
Philo manhandling John Glenn on the boards right now.
And it still hasn't preserved their lead because of the TOs.
The turnovers, yeah. 11 and 14 for the game.
11 in this quarter alone. They'll give it inside to Stoner. Stoner dumps it outside with a 3 for Cooper Radcliffe. Short on that one. Another offensive board again as John Glenn just is not leaving their feet to get the rebound. Here's Malachi Strickland working against Bates. Now kicks it off. Trout around a couple of defenders. Tried to split 2, and Winland with good defense and a rebound for John Glenn. Dolan ahead. Nelson Cameron finding Cooper Briggs, but off of his fingertips out of bounds. A turnover for the Muskies.
Boy, is this UGLY. I mean, it's getting ugly. It's exciting, but it's ugly.
It is not pretty at times. 33.8 seconds remaining. John Glenn still up by that 1-point margin, 41-40, as Philo there's going to be a push-off. That's going to be an offensive foul on Radcliffe as he used that off arm to get open on the pass reception. And Cooper Radcliffe now, they can ill afford to lose him. That's his third personal in the game. That's the third offensive foul here by Philo in this quarter.
Yes, in this quarter. And those are turnovers.
Those are turnovers. No free throws. They're lining up for free throws this time, but there isn't right now. Steele Bates will inbound for John Glenn with 33.8 seconds remaining in the first half, up by 1.
Officials have to come in and
just trying to settle the players down just a bit.
Tone it down a little bit, guys.
Winland inside, Steele Bates, nice little give and go off the inbounds. Bates to Winland, and then Bates cuts right to the open block to get his 6th field goal of the game. Winland, a steal, kept it in bounds, but couldn't save it to a teammate. It'll go to Malachi Strickland. Up to Bleakney. Bleakney with 13 seconds on the right perimeter, picks up the dribble, bounces out high. And Strickland finds Stoner all alone inside, missed the bunny shot, and it's last touched by Stoner out of bounds to John Glenn. The team rebound. That's about the only rebound John Glenn's getting, is if Philo knocks it out of bounds.
The dead ball rebounds.
4.7 seconds left, quickly ahead. Here is Dolan. Pulls up, 3 deep water, off the front iron, no good at the second quarter buzzer. And a wild one in this first half in the first 16 minutes. John Glenn takes after leading briefly by 4 points early on, a 4-0 start. Philo led most of the way in this first half, but John Glenn recapturing the lead and have a 3-point advantage at halftime, 43-40 in a high-intensity, high-pace, I don't know what you'd call this, 100-meter dash?
My head's spinning. And, I'm kind of at a loss for words. It's been ugly. It's been fast-paced, turnover-prone, mistake-prone. but exciting nonetheless. Very exciting.
We'll tally up the numbers and Mike Snively's stats and individual scores coming up here during this halftime break on ABC Sports, on YRP TV, and on WWKC 104.9 FM. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back after these words on ABC Sports.
How can you select from insurance companies offering you lizards or ducks? When it comes to protection for your home and auto, you want a company that provides quality insurance products and personalized, fair, friendly claims service. WB Green Insurance represents Westfield Insurance. Their reputation is based on sharing knowledge and building trust. Westfield has been around the neighborhood over 150 years. WB Green Insurance welcomes the opportunity to quote your home, car, and business insurance. Don't be fooled by lizards and ducks. Call 439-1329.
Now located at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell, Ohio, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a mutual insurance company established in 1896 for the purpose of providing insurance coverage to rural Ohio. They offer a product to meet your insurance need, whether it's for a farm, rental dwelling, home in town, secondary or seasonal dwelling, churches, or mobile home. They partner with Grinnell Mutual Insurance Company from Iowa to offer liability coverage to package with their Patrons Buckeye Mutual policy. Call today, 740-305-5121, and follow them on Facebook at Patrons Buckeye.
You're watching high school basketball on ABC Sports. For all things basketball and to view our upcoming game schedule, visit yourradioplace.com.
From the Ohio News Network, this is the Ohio Education Association Tonight in High School Hoops. Now here's your host, Eric Reeser.
Mike Breckenridge will be my guest. You can hear him on WQKT in Worcester. Mike covers boys and girls high school hoops and pretty much everything else in sports up in Northeast Ohio. My conversation with Mike covered a variety of things, but you'll hear us talk about the OHSAA expanding tournament divisions in several sports, name, image, and likeness in smaller colleges, and how, if at all, the transfer portal has affected high school athletes in the northeast corner of our state. That's next. This is the Ohio News Network.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
In Ohio, public education matters. And every day, Ohio's public school educators use their united voice to advocate for the supports and resources our public schools need so every child thrives. No exceptions. I'm Ohio Education Association President Scott DeMauro, and on behalf of our 120,000 members, OEA is proud to sponsor tonight's game. Because great public schools are a winning playbook for Ohio, and Ohio is stronger when we stand together to cheer for our students' success.
This is ONN.
I'm Eric Reeser. Mike Breckenridge is my guest. He covers boys and girls high school hoops in Northeast Ohio at WQKT in Worcester. I asked Mike his thoughts on the Ohio High School Athletic Association looking to expand tournament divisions among several sports, including boys and girls hoops.
I think most coaches are in favor of it. And when you take a look at it, it's probably inevitable that it's going to happen. When you have over 700 schools in football and you have 7 divisions, and you have over 700 schools in basketball and you have 4, well, how's that breakdown going to happen? And it's probably going to lean towards the football edge for the big schools. There's a lot less Division I schools in that bracket in football because of the population standard. And then after that, 2 through 7 is probably, pretty similar when you take a look at the number of schools in each division. I think the same thing will hold true in basketball. You're going to get the big of the big, and then everybody's going to come down and be even. But even though that will happen, I think the things that people are worried about, as I talked about, and you're getting the same type of schools that show up at the state tournament every year, and a lot of smaller schools are dominating. Lutheran East in D3, Richmond Heights in Division 4. They're going to be there year in, year out. And if they slip from D3 and D4 to D5, 6, and 7, people are going to be unhappy about it. But with the enrollment and even everything that's in there, nobody's ever going to be happy about anything. But I think it's inevitable that we do expand. If it does go to 7, I see at least 6, honestly, coming in the future.
I also asked Mike about the changes we've all seen in college athletics, like the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness, if those have crept into the athletic departments of smaller schools like Mount Union or Worcester. Mike says it's not really been the case. Many smaller colleges and universities don't have to deal with NIL inducements or mass exodus via the transfer portal.
It's still more pure, if you will. The movement is not there. Guys might step up a little bit in class or transfer, but it's not because they're being offered an excess amount of something else.
I was also curious to see if changes in college sports have had any ripple effects on high school athletes and how the recruiting process might be different now.
I haven't seen it in our area, to be honest with you, and we do talk to quite a few coaches around this area and all across Northeast Ohio. I haven't really got that in the high school ranks unless you're in the upper echelon, unless you're someone who draws attention from all parts when you get into college. And we don't have a ton of that in our area. If you can play Division III or Division II in any sport, no matter what it is, boys, girls, basketball, football, anything, you really excel, because I don't think people really understand the level for really good Division III and Division II. It's up there. And sometimes that's tough for parents to grasp. They think, well, their kid's automatically going to go to the next level. That's not the case if you go out and watch athletics from D3 to D2. And that doesn't play a part in it, I don't think, in our area. Only if you get the elite guys that are being recruited nationally might you get a little of something of that. And for us in our area, in pretty much our region, we haven't seen any part of it.
My thanks to Mike Breckenridge from WQKT in Worcester for his time. I'm Eric Reeser for the Ohio News Network.
Dave Davidson, Mike Snively, back to John Glenn High School. A wild and woolly first half. A lot of points scored, 83 of them total, 43-40, John Glenn by 3 at halftime. Tale of two quarters.
Yeah, big time. And it all came down to John Glenn kind of turning that pressure up in the second half. I'm going to bet Steele Bates tipped the basketball defensively in the second quarter alone. it was in double digits. And, Philo played almost flawless. Maybe their best first quarter all year. I'm saying that without ever seeing them this year, but they were fantastic in that first quarter. Just 3 turnovers, but 12 turnovers in the second quarter, and John Glenn comes, firing away back, and they're up 3 now. But what a fantastic effort there by Philo in that first quarter. John Glenn now gets themselves in a rat race, found themselves with some adversity, and here we are with a 3-point lead at half.
Well, and Philo, at least from what we saw in the second quarter, if Rusty Trout is not handling the ball and being that field general out there for this team, right, they are struggling offensively.
Correct. Struggle bus for Philo in that regard. And Trout, he's been great. He's got a fantastic crossover. He can shoot it from deep. He can penetrate. He passes the ball well. And as you said earlier, he handles the ball against that John Glenn press. Just a freshman.
Well, what's got to change here for Philo in quarter number 3 to start after having an 11-point lead at one time?
Well, more than anything, they're playing hard. And both teams are playing hard. But if you're Jason Trout, you basically say, hey, you keep playing as hard as you're playing, but we've got to kind of, maybe look over this defense, be strong with the basketball, make the short passes. And they took care of that press easily in that first quarter. They got to get back to what they were doing in the first quarter. Now, John Glenn may have turned the pressure up just a little bit with some substitutions, too. Jason Trout did kind of started losing his cool a little bit there with the officiating. But when John Glenn, the way they play that style, their hands are on you all the time. They're going to foul you. Going in, they're going to foul you. You as a referee, how many can you call them all? You're supposed to, but it's just the style they play. Kind of reminds me of the old Bobby Huggins, West Virginia teams. It's like those games could have lasted 4 hours if they wanted to call everything, So it's a tough job for the officials tonight.
Yeah, it is. And if you're Jason Trout, you can't complain about anything else except the turnovers. The field goal shoot, they're taking good shots. The field goal shooting is pretty good, for the exception of maybe missing, just some offensive putbacks inside. They've rushed some shots. A ton of offensive rebounds. They've certainly had all the opportunities they want.
They out-rebounded John Glenn 24-11. They had 8 offensive rebounds, and 4 of those were from Malachi Strickland. And they were hustle rebounds. That kind of worries me if you're Eric Scheck. They were basically out-hustled on the offensive glass.
Well, and you wonder, too, if you're looking at the records, kids are kids.
No
John
doubt.
Glenn, you know this.
Oh, John Glenn beat them by 30 the first
right.
time.
You're looking at this game like, we'll just show up tonight on Friday night and come away with our 12th win and go home and have a good weekend.
Act like Philo wasn't allowed to improve over the year.
Yep.
But like I said, they played New Lex tough. They played Sheridan tough. This is a pretty good basketball team tonight.
Steele Bates, the leading scorer, 15 for John Glenn, with C.J. Dolan, 10 points. And Rusty Trout's 15 points, and Drew Wright's 8 leads Philo after one half. John Glenn with the basketball to start quarter number 3. Steele Bates, 17-footer, trickles off the front of the rim, no good. Long pass down the floor, Talon Preston gets a 1-on-2 basket as Preston knocks in field goal number 3. He has 6 points in the game, and Philo down just 1 now, 43-42.
Preston just beats the Muskies back.
Lyric on the right block. Double team. Swings it out. Nikolazakos a 3. Too long. Steele Bates inside with a rebound. Uncontested with the putback. Steele Bates with his 7th field goal of the game. 17 to lead John Glenn. 45-42. Again, Muskies by 3 with nearly a minute gone in quarter 3. Trout on the right side. Step back 3.
Wow.
What else? Picks right up where he left off to start the game. And Rusty Trout has three-pointer number 3 on the night. 18 points. Tie game at 45. Lyric on the right block, working on Drew Wright. Again, the left-handed floater hook won't go. Off the rim this time. Drew Wright rebounds for Philo. Trout with a long overhead pass for Talon Preston. Preston goes right into the chest of Lyric, trying to draw that 4th foul, and Preston gets the layup to take back the lead, 47-45 now.
Wow.
There's a collision on the drive inside, and it's going to go out of bounds to the Philo Electrics as Nikolazakis threw it away.
I'm not sure if Nikolazakis was trying to fling that thing behind his back or over the head, but I have no idea what that was. Philo's attacking this press diagonally, and that's really hurting the Muskies. I mean, they're just going right over the top diagonally, and now they're just beating them down the court.
And there's a block shot again. That's block number 5 for Lyric. It's one of the bright spots for John Glenn. Lyric's had a tough night in foul trouble, but gets a 5th block on Talon Preston's layup attempt, and here come the Muskies with Steele Bates in the right corner. Outside now to Noah Winland, approaching the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Philo up by a deuce, 47-45. The long 3, Nelson Cameron, that won't go. And a rebound to Radcliffe of Philo. Gets it off to Malachi Strickland. Strickland goes coast to coast. Blocked again by Lyric. That one, an easy one for Lyric with block number 6.
Yeah, 6 blocks on the night for the big man. Might be looking at double-digit blocks for this game. You don't see that very often.
And Preston will inbound from under the Philo basket. Inside, Drew Wright beat Lyric to the basket on the inbounds play. Easiest way to score in basketball, partner, and it still remains.
Yeah, and that's 4 baskets, real quick baskets for Philo early in this 3rd quarter.
49-45, Philo back up 2-possession game. And a drive, left-hander for Steele Bates, up and good with the left-hand layup. High off the glass.
There's a steal.
And Cameron gets the basket to tie the game, 49 all. His first points of the night. And Trout goes coast to coast and may have broken an ankle from Nelson Cameron. Cameron gets up off his feet quickly here as Nikolazakis will come in to replace him. I think we had just an official's timeout.
I'm not sure if he
looking at
his foot planted
Cameron
because of the crossover dribble or if he got stepped on, but in 2024, when you cross somebody over and make them fall, that's kind of like the big thing now, you know.
Oh, yeah, it gets the attention. Trout now with 20 points in the game on that layup to give Philo back the lead at 51-49. 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Nikolazakis pumps it into the post. Lyric double team, swings it out. Winland drives, splits 2 defenders. Too strong on the layup, though, and another rebound for Drew Wright. Gives it off to Trout. Trout across the timeline, pushing ahead for Philo. Preston in the left corner, penetrates, goes to the glass strong, and Preston is the man here in this 3rd quarter for Philo as he has 6 points in the quarter, 53-49. Philo back up by 4. Nikolazakis may have got a little bit of a break right there. Slightly out of control again on the baseline drive and took some contact. It's going to be out of bounds to the Muskies. And it's going to be a blocking foul called on Philo. That'll be Talon Preston. His 3rd personal. Oh, sorry, fourth foul. Preston with 4 fouls, Radcliffe with 3 for Philo.
And that's a big fourth foul. Preston has been the energy for the Electric
Boy, he
tonight.
sure has. Here's a 3 for C.J. Dolan, short on that one. Radcliffe trying to run down the rebound, but Lyric hustles to it out near the half-court line and gets it back for John Glenn, down 4. 4:25 to go third quarter. Nikolazakis out high. C.J. Dolan to the right block for Lyric. Lyric posting up inside, whips it around the corner for a Nikolazakis. Hand off to C.J. Dolan, another 3-point shot. That won't go. Bodies thrashing around a bit. Drew Wright had the rebound and nearly threw it away as Dolan hustles back to knock it out of bounds to Philo. 4:11 to go.
That last possession by John Glenn was very good offense. Sometimes the shot just doesn't go. But they got the ball reversed. They passed up a good shot for a better shot.
Drew Wright in the backcourt for Rusty Trout. Trout, the freshman, number 34, working against a couple of Muskies. Really good ball handler and just seems to know where he can go without getting into trouble most of the time already as a young high school player.
It's like he's been around it his whole life.
Muskie foul. Well, you know he has. That's Nikolazakis with the foul. That'll be his third personal. First against the Muskies in this third quarter. Unbelievably, we are halfway through the quarter and only one foul apiece on each team.
Andrew Glaub now in to guard Trout. So this would be a first-time matchup with these two.
And a long 3 for Drew Wright won't go off the left corner, and Braden Davis rebounds for the Muskies, number 24, entering the game for the first time in the second half. 3:45 and counting third quarter. Philo up 4. Steele Bates for the Muskies drives. Nice right-hand finger roll and drops that in. Steele Bates now with 6 points in this quarter, 21 for the game. And that last touch by the Muskies tapped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Electrics in the backcourt again, still with this full court.
Now Glaub's going to bring, some physicality.
And he brings it right there from behind.
He's going
nice call, partner.
Yes, that's what Andrew does. But he's out there to defend.
First foul on Glaub, second on the team. 3.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Philo's still up by 2. Malachi Strickland breaks full court pressure, 3-on-3, gives it off to Bleakney, steps in for a 2-point bucket, and Bleakney hits it for his second field goal.
You can feel the Philo crowd starting to sense the momentum. They're starting to feel this a little bit here.
First field goal of the second half, 9 in the game for Braden Bleakney. 4-point game again for Philo. And Steele Bates drives left side of the key, and he is tied up by Bleakney. And a possession arrow, a turnover going to the Philo Electrics.
Philo with great enthusiasm on the bench and on the court.
C.J. Dolan returns for Coach Eric Scheck, replacing Steele Bates, who will get a breather as the Electrics lead at 55-51. Just over 3 to play in the third. Cooper Radcliffe, a 3-on-2 break after breaking the pressure. Dumps it off for a Drew Wright baseline bunny shot. Didn't go, and I think he just picked up.
Yeah, they're going to call.
Wait a second.
I thought they called that on Drew Wright.
Well, I think they just reported the wrong. They reported Lyric with the foul, and I believe they meant to. Oh, okay. No, that is what they meant. They got Lyric with the foul. It is Philo basketball. Okay. So the foul was reported correctly. We were
confused, as were the teams.
Yes. Fourth foul on Caleb Lyric. Philo keeps the ball under the basket. Radcliffe finally gets it into Drew Wright on the baseline. Working on Braden Davis. And Drew Wright with a good jump hook drops it in.
All of a sudden, this is a 6-point lead for Philo.
They have jumped it right back up again. 12 in the game for Drew Wright, number 33. Second top scorer for Jason Trout's Electrics. C.J. Dolan working the top side between the circles. Finds the right sideline for Noah Winland. Winland finds a cutting Cooper Briggs. It's through his hands and into the hands of C.J. Dolan for a 3-point shot, and a timeout taken by Eric Scheck's Muskies as Dolan drills the 3 in the left corner for his third 3 of the game, and he has 13 points to lead John Glenn right now. 57-54 Philo on the timeout taken by the Muskies. End-to-end action. We'll take a 30-second break here on WWKC and on YRP TV as our coverage of high school basketball continues.
From the Ohio News Network, this is the Ohio Education Association Tonight in High School Hoops. Now here's your host, Eric Reeser.
Mike Breckenridge will be my guest.
In today's marketplace, you have many choices for insurance. WB Green Insurance, a representative of Westfield Insurance, is committed to providing you with excellent coverage for your home and auto at a fair and competitive price. Westfield has been in the neighborhood for over 150 years, providing peace of mind and quality insurance products through independent insurance professionals. Sharing knowledge, building trust is Westfield's pledge to their customers. Call WB Green Insurance today.
We have Joel Asigo and Andrew Dunlap on our live stream webcast crew. Dave Davidson, Mike Snively back to New Concord. Philo inbounds after the timeout by John Glenn. There's a turnover. Andrew Glob comes up with a steal. Braden Davis to the rack. Finger rolls it in. That's good. And a one-point game now quickly for Philo, as again they turn it over in the backcourt.
And Philo's only turned it over twice in this quarter.
Our players of the game sponsored Pizza, Plus One Pizza will have our Muskie player of the game coming up at the end of the contest tonight, and Lock 9 Pizza will sponsor Philo Electric's player of the game at the conclusion tonight in Duncan Falls. Ball out of bounds to the Electrics off the attempted steal by John Glenn. Andrew Glob gets a breather here for a moment after turning up some defensive intensity. Cooper Briggs returns, and Steele Bates. Drew Wright working on Noah Winland. Forced up the shot there. Good defense by Winland to stay his ground, and a rebound for Briggs. Bates ahead for Dolan. Dolan, the floater on the baseline. Tough angle shot and drops it in.
John Glenn's made their last 4 shots.
It's Dolan's first 2-point field goal of the evening, and it's the 1-point lead back to John Glenn, 58-57. Drew Wright the other way off the Radcliffe assist, and Philo goes back on top, 59-58. Down the other end, Davis. Wow. Jump hook inside. Splash that one for Braden Davis, and John Glenn back up 60-59. A minute 25 to go in the third quarter.
Both teams toucheing each other.
Woo. Bleakney pull up. That's good from inside the paint at 12 feet.
I'm going to run out of space on my stat sheet.
11 points in the game for Braden Bleakney. 61-60, Philo on top. As both teams exchange punches here in this late third quarter.
Kind of reminds me of a game back from the 1980s, the style.
Nuggets Pistons.
Yes.
Braden Davis with a 3 in the corner, 63-61. John Glenn up by a deuce now after the Braden Davis three-pointer. All these other guys are getting three-point shot entertainment. I'm going to give him some too.
6 straight for John Glenn.
Radcliffe hands off to Bleakney. Bleakney penetrates the paint, forces up the floater. That won't go, and Cooper Briggs runs down the rebound. It's tapped out of bounds by Malachi Strickland, and the Muskies will get the ball going the full length of the floor with 25 seconds and a 2-point lead.
And John Glenn also would get possession to start the fourth quarter. So if they choose to go for one, this is a 2-for-1 possession.
Will anybody hold it long enough to go for one?
I don't know if we'll
have 4 shot attempts here yet, I think. Goodness gracious.
It does look like Coach Scheck's going to try this.
We're going to give it a shot and see how this works. Bates has Strickland uptight on him for the moment. Breaks the 5-second count, though. And now Bates will go around a Winland screen. There's going to be a hand check on Philo. That'll be only their second team foul of the quarter. That's Braden Bleakney with the foul. Second on Bleakney in the game. John Glenn will inbound from the far sideline with 5 seconds. That's really not a bad foul. You could afford to give one right here again, too.
Absolutely. Good point, Dave.
You got a couple of fouls to give. And they do. They do exactly that. They get it into Cooper Briggs, and then he is grabbed. Yeah, they're going to get Logan Lyon, the junior, just entered the lineup a moment ago, so he comes in and picks up the quick foul.
Now Larrick checks in the game, so let's see if they try to go down low with Larrick here with 3.5. He has 4 fouls.
Winland looking. Finds C.J. Dolan. Look out.
And I thought it was unintentional, and they got it.
Yeah, he was grabbed, and and thrown down and tackled. They were trying to get the foul quickly, and it's not a bad strategy. They still had a foul to give, and I'm surprised that more teams don't do this at the end of quarters, but a little bit too physical right there as Malachi Strickland just refused to let go and then throws C.J. Dolan to the turf. And Dolan now with the intentional foul will get 2 free throws, and then John Glenn will still have a last-second shot with 1.7 seconds left.
And I believe this is Dolan's 9th and 10th attempt tonight.
And the first one is good.
This could be a very big possession for John Glenn.
That puts them up 3, 64-61, 1.7 seconds. Second free throw attempt after the intentional foul. Rattles around and drops in.
Now remember, John Glenn gets the ball to start the fourth quarter.
65-61 now. And the Muskies' Noah Winland will inbound from the 28-foot mark on the far sideline. We'll see what play they draw up here. They'll get it into Dolan. Dolan, deep 3 from NBA range, and that's no good off the backside as the horn sounds to end the third quarter. John Glenn 65, Philo 61. Another wild period of action. High school basketball, still 8 minutes to go yet, or more perhaps, as we continue on WWKC and on 104.9 and YRP TV in just a moment.
In your time of need, will you be happy with your cut rate car insurance? Will you have the coverages you need? Valentine Insurance is dedicated to protecting you and your family when you need it. As an independent insurance agency, we have partnered with many reputable insurance companies who even have local claims adjusters to provide you with unbeatable service. Are you going to trust a talking lizard to help you with your claim? Really? Don't let this happen to you. Trust the professionals at Valentine Insurance. Call 994-1776.
Back on KC 105 and on YRP TV, our sponsors tonight for AVC Sports High School Basketball: WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Valentine Insurance, Abels Incorporated, Doan Ford, and Patrons Buckeye Mutual. Joel Lasigo and Andrew Dunlap on our live stream broadcast. Thanks a lot, guys. 3 quarters gone here in New Concord on this Friday night, and it has been a wild one.
Wild one, and I only have 70 shots per team on my stat sheet. If it keeps up at this pace, I will definitely run out. I haven't ran out since the John Glenn teams that won the state championship. they would get a bunch of shots up, and this is like a throwback game.
Steele Bates, number 33, Winland, number 5, C.J. Dolan, number 2, Cooper Briggs, number 1, and Braden Davis right there with the ball, number 24, throws it away, finding no one, and a quick turnover to start the fourth for John Glenn. Philo comes out with Cooper Radcliffe, number 10, Rusty Trout, number 34, the 2 guards. Talon Preston returns with the 4 personal fouls, number 2, Braden Bleakney, number 20, and Drew Wright, number 33.
With the pace of this game, that's only John Glenn's second turnover in the second half. That's a pretty remarkable stat.
That's a good number. Radcliffe picks up the dribble out high, finds Bleakney. Bleakney picks it up. Overhead pass for Cooper Radcliffe, and Radcliffe misread his teammate Talon Preston, who was cutting back door, and Radcliffe thought he was coming to the corner, and Radcliffe gives it right back to the Muskies. So 2 quick turnovers in the first 28 seconds here by each team.
So we played a third quarter at full bore, or 3 quarters at full bore. Watch how passive everybody plays this fourth quarter.
Now it's play not to lose time, right?
Yeah.
Steele Bates across the timeline, finds a couple of electrics greeting him there. Winland finds a 3 for Cooper Briggs, and that is a Drano for Cooper Briggs, his first 3 of the game.
Cooper Briggs leading the area in three-point percentage, 48%.
And he is 1 for 1 tonight. 68-61, that is the biggest lead for John Glenn tonight. And Cooper Briggs picked up the steal, tried to stay down, but rolled over on it. And referee Tim Gibson says traveling violation on Briggs, giving it back to Philo.
Nonetheless, great hustle there by number 1, Cooper Briggs.
Can't fault the effort. 7:06 to play fourth quarter, 7-point lead for the Muskies, and Philo has the ball back now after the turnover. Radcliffe penetrates left side of the key, gets a bump, and nearly put in the shot as C.J. Dolan picks up the foul for John Glenn. That'll be his second. Number 1 on the Muskies here in this fourth quarter with a minute gone, and Philo trying to cut into this 7-point deficit.
71% shooter, Cooper Radcliffe at the line.
And strangely enough, his first trip to the line tonight, hits on the first one. Only 3 points in the game for Cooper Radcliffe, who was the second leading scorer on this team for the season. Only 3 tonight. He has had some struggles. That free throw's off the back iron. Braden Bleakney with the offensive rebound put back. Wright nearly had another shot at it, but Dolan takes it away for John Glenn. 6-point lead Muskies, 68-62. Briggs in the right corner out to Bates. And Bates will pull this thing back outside. Yep.
By the way, Tri-Valley has taken the lead with 45 seconds at Maysville.
3 in the corner, Briggs again. That one's off the mark, and Drew Wright rebounds for Philo. Tri-Valley trying to go for the season sweep in that series. This time at Maysville, a tough one there. We'll keep you posted on that one. 6:20 to go in this game. 6-point deficit for Philo, down 68-62. Radcliffe drives the left side of the key. High off the glass, won't go. Steele Bates with a good seal off and rebound for John Glenn. Bates will walk things across the timeline and hold it right there. He'll bring out Radcliffe on him. Dolan toward the right corner for Noah Wendland. Wendland dribbles to the top side. Now gives it back to Bates on the right perimeter. Into the corner for Briggs. Over the top pass. Bates toward the corner. Wendland gives it back to Dolan. Dolan greeted quickly out at the three-point arc. They will seal off on him as quickly as possible.
Double teams coming from Philo.
Bates dribbles around 2 Electrics. Weaves around, finds a Cooper Briggs 3. That one's no good. Another rebound for Drew Wright. Quick outlet for Preston. And a nice hustle play for Briggs to come back and steal it away. Finds Braden Davis. Davis with a little, I don't know what you call that shot. That was something special for Drew Wright.
Off balance, running to his left, shoots it with his right. Over Drew Wright.
That was like off the wrong foot, going against his body, and somehow still got it up over the top. Went right into the body of 6'2" Drew Wright, and
quietly, John Glenn has an 8-point lead.
It's unbelievable. Certainly doesn't feel like John Glenn has dominated the action recently, but Philo's turnovers is still hurting them.
I look out there at Philo on defense right now, and they do look a hair tired. It's like they're not really hustling like they were in that first 3 quarters. They may be tired. They may have ran out of gas. But we've seen them come back before in this game.
We'll have our Muskie Player of the Game, sponsored by Plus One Pizza in Cambridge, and Lock 9 Pizza in Duncan Falls will sponsor the Electrics Player of the Game tonight. Our thanks to those sponsors and those Valentine Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, patrons Buckeye Mutual, Ables Incorporated, and WB Green. Joel Asigo and Andrew Dunlap spending some time with us tonight on this Friday night. Bringing you all the video of this one here on our YRP telecast. Joel doing a little dance in between times here too. Thanks a lot, guys. We resume action, 5:15 to go in the ball game. 70-62, Muskies by 8. Philo basketball as Radcliffe works it from the top side, finds Trout for a 3 in the right corner, missed his shot, got his own rebound back, runs it down. That shot is off the front rim, no good, and Noah Wendland secures a rare John Glenn rebound tonight.
Yeah, Philo has really hammered the Muskies on the offensive glass and defensive glass.
They certainly have. Bates gives it off to Wendland, back to Bates on the right sideline, drives baseline, pump fakes, gets right in the air, and then spins right around him, and Bates with a nifty move right there just to get Drew Wright off of Kilder just a bit. And Steele Bates has got a bunch of points here tonight for John Glenn. 23 of them in all to lead all scorers. And Wright's pass a little too far out in front to Radcliffe, and another turnover for Philo, and things starting to unravel now for the blue and gold.
24th turnover on the night for Philo.
Whoa.
Tough to win games, turning it over 24 possessions.
Jason Trout trying to blow off some steam down there, talking to Matt Abbott and Dave Adams and a few East District representatives in the corner there. Halfway through this fourth quarter, Wendland in the corner, out for a Briggs 3, left side splash for Cooper Briggs. And that could very well be the nail in the coffin for John Glenn tonight, as Briggs has gotten hot here in the second half with a couple of threes.
And they may have an offensive foul here on Drew Wright. And they do.
That's what they got, an illegal screen on Wright. Third personal foul on Drew Wright.
I wouldn't be surprised if John Glenn doesn't take some time off the clock now with his possession.
C.J. Dolan returns, number 2. And Cooper Briggs will check out with those couple of three-point baskets here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, those
and
were
8
big.
points.
Those are big.
Yeah.
Those 2 threes in the fourth quarter here, really big.
Steele Bates, lob pass ahead into the front court for Dolan. Cross court right for Winland, and now Nikola Zakas back into another ball handler for Coach Eric Scheck.
Nikola Zakas glides. He just glides.
Winland finding Larrick along the baseline. Right now, John Glenn just playing some keep away with 3.5 minutes left in this ball game, leading by 13 now, 75-62. And Nikola Zakas drives, flips one up with a reverse, and that's good for Nikola Zakas. His first 2-point field goal of the game, 5 in total. 15-point game.
4 in a row.
Radcliffe drives, and Wright forces up a shot. Good strength by the young man there. Drew Wright, 6'2" senior with another bucket. And he's got 14, make it 16 in the game.
First basket made by Philo in the fourth quarter. 1 free throw and 1 2-point basket.
Well, and as you said, I mean, it's a product, you know, did they expend all of their energy in the first 3 quarters, 2.5, 3 quarters? Maybe. Jason Trout wants a timeout to try to regroup his troops here for a final push in the last 2 minutes and 51 seconds, and we'll take timeout with him. 77-64, John Glenn by 13 as our ABC Sports coverage continues of high school basketball on this Friday night after this.
At Abel's, we're proud that so many people trust our family with their family's home comfort. I'm Russ Abels. For new heating and cooling, you can trust us to save you money with our high-efficiency systems. We're trusted for electrical work, lighting, outlets, generators, complete home electrical service upgrades. We do it all. And you can trust us in an emergency. Whether it's heating, cooling, or electrical repairs, we promise to do the job right. It's what we do for family, and it's what everyone deserves. Trust Abels.
You're watching high school basketball on ABC Sports. For all things basketball and to view our upcoming game schedule, visit yourradioplace.com.
Mike Snively, Dave Davidson back to a place they call the Tank.
The old fish tank.
Not Sherman Tank, not Chillicothe, but New Concord. The aquatic tank.
You know, I just put this together. The trout, as in against the Muskies.
Well, I didn't think of it that way, but now that you mention it,
couple trout.
makes sense.
Yeah.
The Muskies have gone trout fishing. And it's a 13-point game as Winland gets it into Steele Bates. And now Larrick back to Winland. Winland drives, uncontested with the layup on the left baseline.
5 baskets in a row for the Muskies.
And Winland gets in on the act with his first field goal of the night. And there's a rebound here for John Glenn. Steele Bates controls it. 15-point game, 79-64. John Glenn trailed. Most folks won't believe it. There's another layup on the right side for Winland. Most folks won't believe it when they see this score if you tell them that Philo led a majority of the game.
Was in control most of the game.
Yeah, we're in control for a lot of it. Trout for Drew Wright. Preston with a corner 3 in the right side, and Larrick secures the rebound and gets whacked in the back of the head by Drew Wright. Wright's 4th foul. So now Preston and Wright with 4 fouls for Philo. Larrick has played off and on spotty with the 4 personal fouls.
Just the second team foul for Philo. Philo just with 1 timeout.
They've used up all their fouls in the first 2 quarters.
That is true.
Thankfully. 2 minutes remaining in this one. 81-64 as John Glenn looks like will cruise into win number 12 on the year. Bates, nice backdoor pass for C.J. Dolan. Waits for a moment and then finds Drew Wright. Wright had the block shot, and Philo comes away with possession as Bleakney comes away with it. That's a rejection there as Cooper Radcliffe got swatted away again by the Muskies inside. Even though the Muskies have not rebounded well, they have defended fairly well, at least interior, with interior shots. A lot of blocks. Larrick with 6 of those tonight.
7.
7 now.
7 now.
My goodness.
Yeah, what a game. I mean, the momentum shifted I don't know how many times. Then John Glenn's went on streaks where they make 6 in a row. Many times, 3 times this game. They went on streaks where they've made 6 baskets in a row.
Nelson Cameron back in the game, number 13, handling the ball across the forecourt. Now there's DeAndre Fowler back in, senior for John Glenn. 17-point game, just a minute and a half remaining as John Glenn just running out the string right now. Nice backdoor cut for Noah Winland. Had his shot partially blocked. I think Wright got a piece of that one too. He's had a few blocks in this game for Philo as well. Bleakney gives it off to Trout. Bleakney gives it off. There's Talon Preston. His shot was blocked by Steele Bates, and last touch by Preston. And the cheers that you hear from the Muskie faithful are for that of one German senior, Timo Borste.
And I know if I'm Timo, what I'm thinking right now, whenever I get the ball, wherever I'm at, the ball has to go in the air, young man. And they are looking for Timo.
Winland outside for Cameron.
Here's
Timo there.
Give it up, Timo. Give it
Timo
up.
going to the bucket. Scores. And this place is bedlam.
Standing ovation for young Timo.
Trout with a 3 answer, won't go. Wright rebounds inside, blocked by Larrick, block number 8. And there's a hard foul by DeAndre Fowler on Braden Bleakney as Fowler helps him up off the floor. Fowler with the foul, sending Bleakney to the line.
All 5 seniors in the game right now for John Glenn.
So Timo Borste with 2 points. It's not his first 2 of this. Not his first 2 of the year, is it?
I'm going to have to go back and check on that one. That's a good question, Dave.
And a round of applause for the Muskies here as all of their seniors on senior night check out here, including Timo Borste running off there right now as Eric Sheck gives a smile to that young man.
That was Timo's first 2 of his career.
Yes, it was. And the second free throw toss, no good for Bleakney as he misses a pair. 83-64, John Glenn up 19. Just running out the final 22 seconds. Briggs has it. Over to Glob. A couple of Muskies have checked in. Noah Deaver. Lucas Blair with it right now. Blair finding Deaver. Deaver holding the ball there. And we'll get it outside to Glob. Philo not going to foul right now. 3 seconds running off the clock. And John Glenn comes away with a 19-point victory, 83-64. And it was much closer than that. It was certainly in doubt at times here tonight. Philo, boy, talk about a Jekyll and Hyde type of game. I mean, Philo looked really good at times and then looked really poor at other times. And the score really not indicative of the kind of effort they put in.
Not even close. I mean, for a good, 3 quarters, this was Philo's game.
Nice.
Philo scored 1 basket in the 4th quarter. They were 1 of 10 in the 4th quarter with 5 turnovers. And but you can't fault the effort from Coach Jason Trout and his young Philo team. That was a great effort. They came out with high energy. Their fans gave them some energy as well. But John Glenn, just a little too much. Outskilled them there at the end, and that's a big win no matter how you look at it for Coach Eric Sheck come tournament time. You want to get your teams in that winning mind frame, and Coach Sheck's going to take it no matter what.
Yep, no doubt. 83-64 the final. We'll take our final break here on ABC Sports and on KC 105. Mike Snively and I will tally up the numbers, and we'll give you all of that as we close things out here from New Concord on this Friday night. John Glenn with a 12-7 record now, 9-4 in league play as Philo drops to 6-14 and 2-12 in league play. Back after this on ABC Sports.
How can you select from insurance companies offering you lizards or ducks? When it comes to protection for your home and auto, you want a company that provides quality insurance products and personalized, fair, friendly claims service. WB Green Insurance represents Westfield Insurance. Their reputation is based on sharing knowledge and building trust. Westfield has been around the neighborhood over 150 years. WB Green Insurance welcomes the opportunity to quote your home, car, and business insurance. Don't be fooled by lizards and ducks. Call 439-1329.
Now located at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell, Ohio, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a mutual insurance company established in 1896 for the purpose of providing insurance coverage to rural Ohio. They offer a product to meet your insurance need, whether it's for a farm, rental dwelling, home in town, secondary or seasonal dwelling, churches, or mobile home. They partner with Grinnell Mutual Insurance Company from Iowa to offer liability coverage to package with their Patrons Buckeye Mutual policy. Call today, 740-305-5121, and follow them on Facebook at Patrons Buckeye.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
Do you really think that an insurance company who promises quotes in a few minutes has your best interest in mind? Do they really know you and what coverages you need? Hi, this is John Valentine with Valentine Insurance. We take time to learn about you and your insurance needs so you can feel comfortable that you're receiving the right coverages at the best possible prices. Find us on Facebook, stop by our office, or give us a call at 994-1776. Valentine Insurance, a partner you can depend on.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
East Central Ohio's favorite, Kickin' Country, KC 105. WWKC, Caldwell, Cambridge. Kickin' Country, KC 105.
We return with our post-game report here on KC 105 and on YRP TV. First item of business we'll take care of is our Lock 9 Pizza Electrics Player of the Game. They get a certificate for a free one-item small pizza at Lock 9 Pizza, Duncan Falls. And certainly Rusty Trout.
Yes.
Easy choice for that award here tonight. The young freshman guard with 20 points in the game, 3 threes, 3 out of 3 from the foul line tonight. Really was, you know, if you're keeping track of plus minuses out there tonight, was a big plus on his end tonight.
Yeah, Rusty did a little bit of everything, led his team for 3 quarters. Got a little tired, but you know what? He had been going hard all night, but he did handle the ball really well. Was the one guy that really took care of the John Glenn pressure for 2.5, 3 quarters, knocked down some threes early, got hot, and outstanding ball handler. He's got a huge future ahead of him, just a huge future ahead of him. And he's going to be a gym rat, we know that.
Yeah,
so
no
congratulations to Rusty on the Lock 9 Player of the Game.
And a fairly equally easy choice, too, on the John Glenn side from Plus One Pizza, a free medium one-topping pizza for our Muskie Mr. Stability here tonight.
Yeah, Steele Bates, fantastic. A great floor game by Steele Bates. But not only does he do things offensively, and I don't know how many did he score tonight, 23 tonight. I know in the second quarter alone, he tipped defensively. He had at least 10 tips in that press, some leading to turnovers, some leading directly to 2 points for John Glenn on the other end. So Steele Bates was fantastic, both offensively and defensively tonight.
No doubt about it. Quick rundown of the individual scores. Scoring by quarter, by the way, Philo led 24-15 after 1. 43-40 lead for John Glenn, outscoring the Electrics in the second quarter, 28-16. Muskies with a 22-21 advantage in the third, and then the fourth quarter really is where things, this game doesn't look like it was much of a game, but it was until the fourth quarter. John Glenn outscoring Philo 18-3 in the final quarter, just one field goal for the Electrics in the final 8 minutes. And the Muskies with a 19-point win, 83-64. Individual scores for the Electrics. Rusty Trout, as we said, our Lock 9 Pizza player of the game with 20 points. Drew Wright with 16 points. 10 for Talon Preston, 11 for Braden Bleakney, and 4 for Malachi Strickland. Cooper Radcliffe held pretty silent tonight, only 3 points. Second leading scorer, averaging around 11 points in the for the season is Cooper Radcliffe, and the junior was held pretty silent here by the Muskie D in this one. John Glenn's side, they had a few double-figure scores, really spread the 3 double figures, I should say, but boy, did they really spread the offense around tonight. 23, as we said, for sophomore Steele Bates, who is our +1 pizza player of the game. C.J. Dolan, 17 points. Just an outstanding effort at the foul line. 3 threes in the game, too. He was a real stable force tonight for Eric Scheck. Braden Davis off the bench provided 12 points and some really good defense, coming away with a few steals and rebounds. He was a gem here tonight as well for John Glenn. 8 points for Cooper Briggs, 5 for Nelson Cameron and Caleb Larrick, 4 for Noah Winland, 5 points Will Nicolazakis, 2 for DeAndre Fowler, the senior on senior night, and the loudest 2 of the game, Timo Borste with a deuce toward the end of that fourth quarter for John Glenn's 83 points.
Hey, Timo, he his first 2 of his career, and that might have been the last 2, he's ever going to score ever. I mean, because I'm not sure. I know he's a foreign exchange student, but congratulations to Timo. Shooting-wise, Dave, both teams got up 61 shots. Philo made 24 of 61. John Glenn 33 of 61. So John Glenn gets 9 more field goals. Here's an interesting statistic. Philo out-rebounded John Glenn 40-25. Philo had 12 offensive rebounds. John Glenn just 4 offensive rebounds. Larrick in foul trouble again tonight. That kind of hurt that stat there for John Glenn. But when you have 12 offensive rebounds, a lot of those long rebounds because of the three-point shot, but a lot of those are hustle rebounds. Another big statistic here, Philo had 25 turnovers in the game. They had 12 turnovers in the second quarter alone, and that's when John Glenn went ahead at halftime to try to regain control. Of course, Philo comes back in the third quarter, takes the lead for a little bit, up to 8-9 points, I think, in the third quarter. But then John Glenn just takes over, goes on 2 spurts in the third quarter, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, where they make 6 field goals in a row. And John Glenn just kind of took over control. Philo is 9 of 13 from the line. John Glenn, 10 of 14. It was ugly at times, but it was a fun game to watch, Dave. And it was, I mean, I had a good time.
Well, I think everybody in the building did, for the most part, at least in the maroon and white tonight. Right. Not so much maybe for the blue side, but Jason Trout's Electrics, they've got some good days ahead of them yet.
Yes,
still a lot of young players developing yet, and some more he's going to add to the mix. Correct. So he is building. It's taken a while to get there, but you're seeing it in spurts here tonight. How good that team can be already, and they're going to add some more pieces here in recent times.
Yeah, and the one thing I can say about Coach Trout and his Philo team, they played hard, and I think that's the ultimate compliment to the coach and the team. That team played hard. They played with energy. They were rooting for each other. They had enthusiasm. So congratulations on a good game tonight, Philo.
Yeah, tournament draw this weekend. We'll see where all the East District teams wind up on the bracket. Philo still with a couple of games left. Both teams not in action until Tuesday night next week. Philo will be at Maysville. John Glenn will travel to Riverview before the Muskies have a couple of home games to close out the season against Maysville, a big one. That'll be a week from tonight right here in John Glenn. Yes. So that's a big one coming up, a good tournament tester for this Muskie crew.
I believe Dave Hilliard and I will be on that game, the Maysville game.
So our thanks, Joel Lasico, Andrew Dunlap. Nice job on the live stream video tonight. Appreciate all of our viewers and listeners tonight on KC 105 and on our YRP TV webcast here. Our thanks again to our sponsors on the night: Patrons Buckeye Mutual, Abels Incorporated, Valentine Insurance, Doan Ford, West 40 Auto Sales, and WB Green. Thanks to one and all. Enjoy your weekend. And our final score once again as we sign off from New Concord: Muskies 83 and the Electric 64. For Mike Snively, Dave Davidson saying good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.